All right, hello everybody. I've got a event video for you. This is the Free City Conventicle, part of the Explorer series. The next one coming up is in Joplin, Missouri, for the next weekend. So I should post this on the 12th, and should be the weekend coming. After that, for the Explorer series, we have one in my local hometown of Columbus, June 21st. It's going to be constructed. I'll leave some links in the description for the event page, but we would love to have you come down. But this one here was Free City in Chicago at Good Games. Good Games was a really cool game store, a lot of play space in the back. Had a lot of fun. This was 6 rounds of constructed, and we've got Mitch, or Frog Maggio, on the Discord, 3 of his games because he just ran the feature table. And be sure to check out his channel. I'll leave a link to that in the description. And so jumping into the games. All right, and starting here, round 3 against Brandon Posey. Mitch, you're on the right side, correct? Yeah, Deathspeaker.
Yep.
So, how did you think the event went with Deathspeaker control, kind of combo-y Jin stuff?
It was pretty good. So I'm playing like all of the late game action that you can play in Deathspeaker. So I've got 2 Crater Eyes, 2 Jin, and a Summoning Sphere, and then I also have Boudica to pump up all your little things. But one of the big reasons I won is because I just had Ring on turn 1 for like 2 or 3 of my games.
That's dirty. That's dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I eventually drew into it at least like 5 of my games or something. So that definitely helped.
Yeah, that's definitely the power of like the cantripping stuff of like you can burn through a good
Yeah.
number of your spells and find it.
Yeah, so far this game's going perfectly. Like turn 1 Ring, turn 2 Land Surveyor is like exactly the 1 and 2 that I want to do.
I'm surprised Brandon played the Pyre on 2. I would have definitely thought I would wanted to
Yeah.
hold that, but maybe he was trying to get
Yeah,
out
that's fair.
Pit Vipers.
Yeah, because it's always possible. Like sometimes a Death Speaker will like ping their own minion just to put it in the yard and be able to recast it. So,
Yeah.
but it didn't end up really mattering here. So yeah, he plays the Red Cap Power Reason and kills my Land Surveyor, which is like don't care at all.
I mean, how did you feel like the Tump? Did it ever like come up in a game where you?
Yeah, my experience with Tump is it doesn't come up very often, but it's hard to just not
Yeah, it's that speaker
play
and
Tump.
Magoo. Like
I don't know. Like,
it's just extra benefit. If it works, it works. If not, who? Oh well.
yeah.
And there's
I should say like I don't really play a ton of constructed. Like I mostly just play limited.
Yeah, I will say
But
you came back to the Discord scene and you started like hosting the limit events and you came and won this thing. You're just like taking everything by storm.
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I pulled this off, honestly. Like I mean, Death Speaker does really play to my strengths, I think. So like back when I played Magic, I started out playing standard, and I would play like Grixis Control, these like tap out control decks. So like no counter spells, you just like play everything on your turn and just play big things that are hard to deal with. And I feel like Sorcery plays into that really well because this doesn't have any instants, and then Death Speaker is just kind of the kind of grindy game that I like to play. Like when I play limited, it's all about getting the 2-for-1s and just like outvaluing your opponent, and
Yeah.
not so much about like the aggro stuff. So since I play so much limited, I think that this really does play to my strengths a lot.
Yeah, Death Speaker is definitely a value grind your opponent out of like. Well, my card is actually 2 cards because I play a Land Surveyor, I get a card, and then I get to play it again, and I get another card, and you can just win on card advantage. And then moving up, just to ping Brandon's stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Moving that one step forward is super important when you have the ring. Like, I don't need to move forward for a long time because he's just gonna play all this stuff right in front of me at this point. So, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think moving up sometime in the first few turns is really nice, just to
Now,
get in range of everything.
I kind of like pieced or like peeked through the whole like different games. So I didn't watch everything, so I'm watching these all fresh. Um, I know Brandon like stopped playing sites at like turn 3 or 4 and just started double
Yeah,
drawing. which is very much a Brandon play style.
Okay.
I feel like with going against Deathspeaker and Magoo and what have you, you're, like you said, mentioning moving forward with the ring. Now you can defend all your sites very effectively. So when I have had success in playing these kind of playing against these value grind people out of the game, is playing more sites than you're comfortable with, because you're, as the desk speaker or as the control, you want to get to 6, 7, and 8 sites. So you're not going to win on turn 5. So I have a little bit of time to develop my site base, and it's to like pressure you into your back row and make you play more sites than you really are comfortable with, and just looking for an opportunity to exploit a site that's undefended with the ring, if that makes sense. But also Brandon's strategy of just double drawing and playing 2 things a turn can also do it.
Yeah, I can't really see what's in his hand, but it might have been right to play one more site and then do a bunch of double spells. But obviously he has the stone, so he's just happy to be at 3 mana, and like you can cast a 3 and a 2, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah. And so like in this scenario, this is what I'd be looking for on Brandon's side, is you played your color out of space, not nearby you. And so I really want to play a site on 15, so I have an avenue to attack. If you had played your color out of space to your right side on site 7, then it's nearby and you kind of keep your site base really clustered and close. I would try to exploit that 10th site there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I probably should have played on the other side. And also the next site that I also play in a very bad spot, so as you'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game's just going like so amazingly. Like, I actually kept a core in my hand for a turn that I could have just played it out just to get an extra ping, because I know he's just going to play like a 2 or 3 power thing.
That's a rough spot for your. I see what you.
Yeah, I don't want to know why I played it there, but I did get a 2-for-1 out of it, so maybe I was just excited about it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah.
But yeah, and then he just plays a site on 15, and then I just lose that mana, which was kind of dumb. But
I'm gonna have to give Brandon so much crap for this. Why keep Pit Vipers?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really anything that I play that would need to die to that. Maybe like a root spider?
I think that's why you just played your site to 5 there, is to play your Wayfaring Pilgrims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true, but
I mean, you also have a stone in the core, so like meh. Who really cares, I guess. Yeah, so there's the runes. And so like this is where I would want to be like a turn earlier on Brandon's side, is because now if you want to get the ring ping, you have to take a step. I know you already have 2 mana on top of you with the cores and whatnot, but it's making you not play another site. But yeah, hard spot to be in for sure.
yeah, I'm not too upset about having to take a step over to ping the vampire, because it also kind of gets you out of range of Dispel.
That's true.
I don't really like being 2 steps right in front of Sorcerer. Like, I'm assuming he's got a Common Sense and a Dispel or something.
Yeah, he's a Fire Air. We worked on this list a little bit before the event, and we put 2 Dispels in the list for like this kind of matchup, because the 1 mana artifacts in this game are nuts, and just having an out, it makes it feel good. It's dead in a lot of games, but you kind of need it for other games. It's that best of 1 scenario, kind of like catch-22. If you damned if you do.
Yeah. Yeah, now that you say that, we did actually talk about that after the game, and he was talking about, like, should I have just been playing Shatter Strikes instead of the 2 Dispels? And yeah, I mean, in this game, like, Dispel would have been way better than Shatter Strike, so.
Yeah, I think 2 Dispels is, like, fine. Like, especially a Sorcerer, you're going to see 20-ish cards, and if you don't see it, you just don't see it. It is what it is. I mean, that's
Yeah, so here Common Sense, and I was like thinking I would get a Violent, but then I realized like, oh, he has a Violent, so I can just cast your Violent, ping it a second time, ping it with the Violent, kill it.
Yeah.
And then I just get more card draw in hand. It's kind of funny, like all the cards say draw a card, so they're all just cantrips, but then since you're also drawing a card for a turn, like my hand does just get really big just from playing minions that just say draw a card. So, and right now I have Summoning Sphere in hand and Nimbus Djinn. So I just played Summoning Sphere.
The next turn.
And now I'm just waiting until I have enough cards in hand to just unload
Yep.
7 cards and just take them out.
And it's especially with, I guess you have Boudica and things, so you could ostensibly play Boudica and attack with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things if he lets you. Oh, and here's the Quarters and Thias turn he was talking about.
Yeah, so this I did not want to see.
Yeah.
It's like Nimbus Djinn versus Quarters and Thias is really not good. They just play your Nimbus Djinn and then make you discard your whole hand. But as you'll see, he gets a little cute with it, and I think messes up.
Yeah, we talked about this play afterwards, and Brandon is a famous. Or not famous, but there's always a game at any event we go to, and he looks back on and goes, "Why did I do that? I had the win. I could have won." and just it's what happens when you play in paper. I do it all the time. It's like you get so far in your own head, and if you were just like be able to talk to somebody for like 3 seconds and you go, "Oh, let's just do that," is better, but.
Yeah, I call that outsmarting yourself.
Yeah.
People do it a lot. It's like sometimes you should just make the obvious play.
Yeah, just kill him.
The obvious play here, is just play Nimbus Djinn. So he blows my Divine Healing. I'm at 20, so he just casts it for 0 because I have Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
And then he has 6 mana left. So I wonder if there's something in the graveyard that he should actually cast.
I was poking through and wondering why your stones and things were like buried, and I was like, he must have played Earthquake or something, but he doesn't play any Earthquake. He plays Earthquake on this turn. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He Firebolts. Okay, that's the other thing he does. And then he Earthquakes and kills all my stuff. Where I think the ideal play would have been just play Nimbus Djinn on top of my Deathspeaker and then discard my whole hand to it.
Yep.
So I would just take a ton of damage and not have the Nimbus Djinn combo anymore available to me. But he just really wanted to get rid of the ring and the stones, which does take me off of a lot of mana.
It puts you. Now you have to rebuild your hand. You have a lot of things in the yard, and you can cast Quarters and Thias from his yard and like steal his turn and do shenanigans that way too. I totally get the tunnel vision on rings. Like I gotta get him off ring and stone and stuff, and you kind of forget about, well, just kill him. You can just kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And honestly, like sometimes you can, like, if he had just cast the Nimbus Djinn, discard his hand, then he could also just have me drop all of the rings and stuff and just move away from them. He could even have the Apprentice Wizard grab all the rings and cores and move forward, and then have my Deathspeaker move back. So that would put me like way too far away from my stuff, where he could have even probably just played something and picked it up. So that's definitely what I would have done. But so here I'm controlling his turn now. So I cast Highland Princess, and he tells me like I have a trinket and a core or something in there, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm not going to find anything here.
He even talked about this afterwards. I even looked in the rules chat of like it's a May find. Highland Princess doesn't say May, but like under the rules of sorcery, all of the search effects have to be like not conditional, but able to fail to find, because there's possibilities of no legal targets. So.
Yeah, for sure. So, in a normal game, I would be searching my own deck, and he would not know if I have a target or not. So you are allowed to fail to find something.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it'd be one of those weird interactions where like you just have to trust that they resolved it correctly. So in games like Magic and in this, I think pretty much all card games like this, you can fail to find for pretty much anything like that.
Yeah.
As long as you're searching a hidden zone, you can fail to find.
No. And I think also we haven't, like, our local play group doesn't have we have one Deathspeaker player, but he's not on Nimbus Djinn combo and like this kind of controlling game plan of Deathspeaker. And so I think if we had more practice, I should build a Deathspeaker deck and we should practice this some more, but it's just like you walk in and playing against this game plan you haven't really played before, and you kind of miss the obvious lines because you've never seen, like, you don't have an experience with it. And so, like, Courtesan Thias is the best way to disrupt this combo turn of Deathspeaker and honestly
Yeah.
Archimago too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I see you guys furiously
Yeah.
checking
Yeah.
the rules Discord. Shout out to Zach for being on call on that one.
Yeah. So after this, so the reason I cast Highland Princess is because my plan is to have him play a site and move his Pit Vipers up, and then cast Poison Nova and kill all of his minions. And then on my turn, I can cast his Highland Princess and get
Another stone.
my Amethyst Core.
Yeah.
So that's just a nice, like, kind of like a 3-for-1 situation or better.
Also, when you play Courtesan Thias, having your board set up on your turn where your opponent can't do too much damage to you is so extraordinarily hard. I think Brandon played it at the perfect time with, like, Nibishgen online. You were at, like, I don't know, 6 cards in hand, so one more card spell or a Land Surveyor from Yard or something like that could have done Nibishgen combo things. But yeah.
So now I go back to my actual turn.
And you're on 5 mana with some stuff in the yard. So at this point, after post Nibishgen, or at post Courtesan Thias, you're just kind of try to rebuild and go back to Nibishgen combo things. Is that your game plan?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I have, like, Crater Eyes and Major Explosion in my deck, but yeah, I mean, it kind of just depends on what I draw. So I drew a Grandmaster Wizard here, so that's going to kind of answer my questions, is like, what am I going to draw? And also, that gets me closer to just being able to unload my Nimbus Djinn.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Grandmaster Wizard is great.
Anything after playing this event? You said you're more a limited player. Did you learn anything on, like, obvious mistakes or things you would change on how you would play Deathspeaker?
I don't think this was a great event to, like, learn from mistakes because my deck just ran, like, super well.
Yeah.
I mean, I made, like, a few, like, little minor mistakes, but I think my play was pretty on point.
Yeah, no, sometimes
Not really sure.
Yeah, and also this event was 6 rounds of Swiss, and that was just the end was the winner. So, like, it's it's hard without doing top cut, because sometimes your deck just wins, and you kind of go, all right, that's pretty cool. But I know a lot of when Deathspeaker was huge, Wayfaring Pilgrim wasn't really a card being played. It was mostly Land Surveyors and Apprentice Wizards. Did you like the Pilgrims in the Deathspeaker list? Like, it's a 2-mana draw card.
I know. Yeah, I do remember that too. Yeah, from watching some of the early tournaments of Sorcery Online, that I don't remember ever seeing Wayfaring Pilgrim. But yeah, that card's really good. It's basically just an Apprentice Wizard for 2 mana. Like, you end up playing a lot of sites, and you can easily play into the corner with this deck.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like that was just a mistake early on that people weren't playing it.
There's been a debates in the league Discord about stuff, and I like to say that we had it good in 4020 because we all kind of sucked at the game, and we were all kind of still learning. So that's the meta evolved with us as the player base. So that was a pretty cool time to be a part of Sorcery. It looks like you're down to
I kind of
6.
missed out.
It looks
Yeah, so last turn I attacked his Sorcerer with my Grandmaster Wizard to put it into the graveyard, and then I recast it, and I drew 3 more cards, because my plan is to just, next turn I'll have enough cards to just play Nimbus Djinn and kill him.
Yeah, you have lots of cards in hand. I see you, like, intentionally showing the camera, so thanks for that.
Yeah, yes.
No, that's good.
And that's only off of one Grandmaster Wizard. I had games where I drew both, and I also had games where I played Geistwood and played Grandmaster Wizard on it, and then pinged it with the ring.
Oh, that's so gross, man. It's
like,
so gross.
Yeah, it was so disgusting.
So
Yeah, I think, yeah, round 5, which I don't think we're gonna watch. I had like 20 cards in hand, and my opponent was on like Fury Road aggro, and I was just
cool, bud.
like I don't even know what I need to do here. I'll just take game actions and win the game at some point. Like,
Yeah, no, that's and like I notice you're as Deathspeaker. A lot of Deathspeaker lists used to play or still play a lot of defensive sites. You're not. I don't see any like gnome hollows or perilous bridges on your side. Did it not matter? I
uh,
guess.
yeah, they are in there. Um, yeah, I just drew all my mana fixing and stuff this game.
Hmm.
I have seen lists that just don't play Wormallow Temp because they would just rather have another Gnome Hollows or another Pebbling Paths or something. I think I have 3 Pebbling Paths and maybe like 1 or 2 Gnome Hollows.
Yeah. So
It's just hard because those Earth sites are just so good in control decks, but you can only, like, you don't really want to have just 6 Earth sites in your deck when you're playing 3 elements. But,
so it looks like
so here,
yeah, Brandon just I think infiltrated.
yeah, he infiltrated the Nimbus Djinn, and he knows that he's dead, but he's just taking game actions, and then I'm just like, yep, I cast your Violent and kill you in your turn. So,
Summoning sphere.
yep, that's the end of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Brandon got you to the door, so like that's not nothing. It's just one turn too slow. That's a lot of
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah. And then this is
Yeah, you're
round.
right. I think that is the only person that actually put me a door. This game, I'm really excited to talk about. This is
Nice.
yeah, me against Alex on Battle Mage.
I think it Alexis.
Yeah,
Yeah. Count Tolstoy on the Discord. You said he curves out really well and like kind of lots of early pressure.
yeah, you'll see. Yeah, he's on the play. I keep a Divine Healing because I've played some against Battle Mage, and when they're just like on your sites attacking you for 3, and you can just cast a Divine Healing and just like get 2 extra turns, it feels really good.
Yeah. When I played against Broseph Stalin in the Middle of Mayhem last year with my Avatar of Earth, I had Divine Healing, and he was on this Battle Mage kind of list of, I think it was still Shrink the Frog at the time, and that Divine Healing definitely bought me an extra turn. And against Battle Mage, I really like that keep of Divine Healing, because even if he just punches you for 3 and no other minions, that Divine Healing negates 2 of his turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so here, yeah, so he's on the play. He plays Tower into Ribble Boggart on turn 2. Luckily, I drew a Land Surveyor, which I love. That, like I said, that's my favorite turn 2 play. But my hand is like Nimbus Djinn, Black Plague, and a Wayfaring Pilgrim.
so you're not
And
doing
Divine
much
Healing.
first 4 turns, right?
Yeah, I don't have any way to deal with Ribble Boggart, and yeah, my hand's like pretty expensive. Like I have a lot of 2 and 3 mana things in my deck, and Black Plague is like not the greatest removal.
And it looks like he got ranged off of the Bogart roll and then attacks with Hippogriffs.
Yeah, yep, yeah. So he plays Pond into Hippogriff now, and then yeah, this turn I drew Grandmaster Wizard, another expensive card I can't play.
Yeah, this is a rough spot to be in. It looks like
Yeah,
he would
I'm
probably
like,
play Wayfaring Pilgrim just for a chump block. Is that?
yep,
Yeah.
that's my only option. I can play Wayfaring Pilgrim, or I can play my Land Surveyor, which is what I end up doing.
Okay, and then he's like, all right, I'm just gonna take 6. It's gonna hurt, but
Yep. And then I play a Gnome Hollows right next to my Deathspeaker, which Gnome Hollows is really good against Battle Mage, so I'm really happy to have drawn that. So I think that was the right play.
the only better spot for Gnome Hollows is where Hippogriffs is.
Yeah. So right here he rolls a 4, which gives him +3 power. So that
Oh
did
my
not work out.
goodness.
So I take 9 here.
Ouch!
Yeah.
Ouch! Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm at 8 now, I believe.
oh, then a feast for crows.
Yeah, I placed Feast for Crows name's Earthquake, which was actually great for me. I didn't have an Earthquake in hand. I mean, I would have loved to have an Earthquake in hand, but
Yeah, that's a interesting name. Like, probably because he's like you're on 3, so a tower into earthquake can kind of like blow this whole tempo thing out of the water. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Earthquake or Nimbushin are both very good uh, names there. Earthquake is
Okay.
definitely an interesting one, though.
Yeah, I I would have thought maybe like a Violent potentially, but I guess that doesn't really deal with anything. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I would name, but
I think I would name
like I said, I'm
Nimbushin.
not really a constructed player, so
Yeah, I probably would name Nimbushin, but I think naming Earthquake here is like how you stay in this game. Right now, I think Alexis is like, I win this game by my minions sticking around, and both of them leaving is Earthquake mana. I assume you're
yeah.
playing towers, right? Are you playing towers in this list?
Yeah, I've got I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
3 or 4.
So it is a
I
possibility.
play a Valley of Delight. I name Air so I can play my Black Plague.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, I don't have mana to play my Divine Healing, which I would love to play. So I choose to kill the Ripple Boggart. Also, for turn, I drew Death Dealer, which is another horrible
Six mana,
draw right
seven.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is the problem with Deathspeaker is like sometimes you just draw all your 6 drops and you just need chump blockers and little things to just delay the game. You don't care about them dying, but if your hand gets full of 6 drops, you just can't cast anything.
yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but yeah, it sucks when it does. And this is like the worst spot for it to happen, honestly.
Yeah, when you're
Getting absolutely beaten down. And
oof,
then, yeah, he plays Atlantean Fate. So now I have no water in my deck, so I'm on 1 air threshold,
my
is
goodness.
what I have. Yeah, that is just completely devastating. Like, I have like a 5% chance to win this game. Like,
Yeah, and I was gonna say you win
there's
this
no way.
game. Jesus,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I can't believe I actually pulled this out. And he attacked me for 3, so I'm at 5.
Yeah, and then you're at 5, and so you can't play what do you call it? Divine healing this turn.
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
Like, yeah, I copy steps. Now I have 1 of each of my thresholds: 1 fire, 1 earth, 1 air. And I drew Raytanis Titan, another 7-drop.
And you
Yeah, I
need
draw
double threshold for
into.
that one.
Yeah, I draw Highland Princess, which I can't cast. And I don't think he has anything for me to cast in his yard, so I just pass.
Yeah, and then he walks up. So this is where like Battle Mage is really good at that first 3, 4 turns of like pressure, pressure, pressure. But without things to eat, it just kind of runs out of steam. Like the Hounds of Arduris is really good here, but like you need another thing to attack. Like I think a grapple shot would have been like GG at that
I
point.
know, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I don't have any sights in hand. So I just draw a sight, hoping to draw an air threshold so I can play my Nimbus Djinn and deal with this Hounds, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to play the Tower under the Hounds, cast the Nimbus Djinn, and then discard 2 cards to kill it. So I can at least, like, empty my hand of these horrible cards that I drew. Although, hopefully they'll be on pretty soon. I'm on like 7 mana this turn. But again, I don't have threshold to cast anything except for Nimbus Djinn and Highland Princess, I think.
Yeah, and then so if you play Tower under Hounds, kill Hounds with Nimbus Shin, and then at least you can have a blocker for the Battle Mage attack.
Yeah.
I think you're still at 5, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yes,
just
I'm starting to feel kind of okay here. I don't know. Like, that was a really lucky draw, drawing a air threshold.
yeah. So casting or pitching Princess and Grandmaster Wizard. Any reason you kept Death Dealer over Grandmaster or anything like that?
I mean, Grandmaster is just the slowest of all the cards,
That's
for
true.
sure. And it's really good to have in your graveyard for when you get to Death's Door
Yeah.
and you're trying to get back into it. And Highland Princess is also just really slow. I did do the math quick and see, like, since I have 7 mana, can I Highland Princess into a Philosopher's Stone and then still cast as Nimbus Djinn? But I'm 1 mana short of doing that. I think for a while I draw another sight. I drew my second Earth Threshold, so we're Mellow so I
Yeah.
can cast. All I can cast is Raytanis Titan now, or the cards in my cemetery, which aren't great.
I mean, casting a Titan on top of his avatar and dealing, what is it, 6?
Yep.
And then having a good blocker is like a decent game plan. Yeah.
Yep. So that was a lucky draw again.
You're holding on it too. Oh god.
Yeah.
This is a good game, man.
Yeah, I know. This was a really good game. Yeah, he polymorphed my Nimbus Djinn and played a Screaming Skull, so I couldn't even really block with the frog. He would just get more movement and card draw.
Yeah, not blocking with the frog. Like the Screaming Skull in Battle Mage is just a very frustrating thing to deal with. Like I want to block, but I can't. Also, the thing you can do with Battle Mage, and if they have a Screaming Skull and you have say 2 or 3 blockers, is you can block with all of those minions. So say you had 3 foot soldiers and you block with one, he untaps and eats the rest of them, right? If you have an ability to block all of them all at once, it's 1 instance of combat, so he only gets 1 untap.
Okay. Does he still get 3 cards?
I think it's just the once, because Battle Mage is like whenever it attacks and kills something, it triggers once. It's not like it kills 3 things, you get 3 cards. On attack, you get this trigger.
Okay, so this is the crazy turn. So I look at my hand, I have Death Dealer and Divine Healing. I don't have the threshold to cast either one. I only have 1 fire, and I only have 2 earth. And I draw a sight, and I draw a step.
You get a step? What the hell, man?
So I got 8 mana, and I have exactly the threshold and mana to cast all of those spells.
No way.
Yeah,
No way.
that was nuts.
That feels dirty.
Yeah, honestly.
Wow. All right.
Otherwise, I'm just going to Death's Door because he's a questing beast now, which I just can't block. So that'll just put me on door.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to at least I could draw my Divine Healing or my Earth Threshold for the Divine Healing, and then I could cast like a Highland Princess or the Grandmaster Wizard or something like that. But I just get the nuts and draw step. So that was insane.
No way. That's great. That's awesome. I mean, that's what's great about TCGs, right? It's just the god draw off the top just fixes everything.
Yeah, I even like point to the step later, and I'm like, this was a really good draw. He's like, yeah, I can't believe you came back from that. Like,
is he contemplating about blocking Pilgrim or something? Yeah.
Yeah, I sequenced this kind of bad. I played the step first, and then I attacked with the Titan, and then I attacked with the Wayfaring Pilgrim. I should have done that a little bit different, but it didn't end up mattering. He didn't block anything, which makes sense. Like, he took 7 damage. He's at I think he's at 7 now, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what it says over there.
All right. And then, yeah, I cast Death Dealer, kill everything, Divine Healing, go up to 9. Yeah.
It's so dirty. Oh my goodness. Wow. You said this was a good game, like when I was talking to you previously, and I hadn't like really watched it, but holy crap, man! Like,
yeah,
even after the Atlantean Fate, getting the second air threshold to play Nimbus Djinn was lucky, and then hitting a step. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah, I have the exact threshold to cast every card in my deck now.
Yeah, so as Alexis is, I don't know what he's trying to like look for. Maybe a trinket if he plays trinket.
He's got a Hippogriff in hand, and he's considering attack Death Dealer with Hippogriff, and then attack with Battle Mage to draw a spell. Is what he ends up doing, and I think that's a really good play because he's not putting me on door from just attacking, and the Battle Mage is kind of just stuck there with the Death Dealer sitting on top of it because it has 4 power. And he knows that he's going to door next turn no matter what, because I have Raytanis Titan in my yard, and he's at 6, right? Is he at 6?
He was at 7. Like he played Titan and he attack him. Like he just goes to door, or you Princess get Ring and then Titan. It's just like being at 6 or 2 is essentially the same thing.
Yeah. So he draws Browse off of attacking the Death Dealer, which is really good. So he casts Browse. That's his last mana, I think. And he finds a Ruler of Thule is what he picks. That way he can run across the board next turn. Because he can't cast it this turn.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he attacks you down to like just probably 6 or something.
Yeah, attack me down to 6. Yep.
And then next he knows he goes to the door, and then he runs away, and then I guess you have princess in yours. So you walk towards him with ring, kind of like I'm gonna kill you no matter what. Wow.
Yeah, something like that.
And then yep, take him to door. Tap draw sight. I think right here I would have.
Yep.
I guess I never mind. I don't know. He got Grandmaster Wizard because browse. You don't have to reveal it, but like maybe
Oh
walking up
yeah.
to your step to be more centered for a Highland Princess get ring kind of turn. Like I'm thinking, how do I kill you on my turn? Where can you run away to?
Yeah.
And being more
That's a
centered,
that's a good play.
being more
Um
centered on
oh,
board is good.
yeah, actually the play that I decided that I wish I had made, like it really did make sense to draw the site there.
Yeah.
I should have just left it untapped and just left it right there, because then he just can't attack with Battle Mage anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You
I can
can.
just block and kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea too. It's you don't think to block with your avatar, but I mean it comes up sometimes in this scenario.
Yeah. I, but now that you bring up that play, I think that is actually just a better play. Yeah, just setting up Highland Princess into ring and to cast anything else to win the game.
Yeah. I think it's that comes from playing against Avatar of Air and this battle mage a lot. Is they're just so freaking slippery.
Yeah.
I feel they have so much movement in their deck. It's really important to be in like a step of anywhere to try to win the. Oh, and then you get a lightning bolt. Sure, why not? Why
Yeah,
not? You just
I
get the
just
kill
thought that.
spell off the top. Don't even have to work for it. My goodness, man.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, and then we're going to move on to the finals. So I have to do the deck stats. I will do the deck stats after we're done talking. But man, Steam Druid was everywhere. It was a very
Hmm.
popular deck. I know at least 3 people played some variation of it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good against Archimago from my experience playing that deck.
Hmm.
I have not really played much Druid or Sorcerer. I don't really like the boring avatars.
I would say Sorcerer is pretty boring. Druid is just like fun value. Like the Tawny is, you just get it every single turn. It's always there, and it's always annoying for your opponent to deal with. It's always like a resource sink for them. But yeah, they don't have an identity to them. You can build them however you want. Whereas Deathspeaker is like asks you to play these like, is this ring turn 1 again? Oh my goodness, man.
Okay, you're in for like the most disgusting game I've ever played, I think. Yeah, turn one ring. I top deck Philosopher's
Oh
Stone.
my goodness.
Yeah, I played
One of the
Geistwood on
Geistwood
turn 2.
centered off a ring. What?
Yeah,
No wonder you won the freaking event, man. Jesus.
yeah, this was crazy. Did you say I'm playing against? This is Brandon.
Brandon
from
Runners.
NC's Games.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
another YouTuber. I'll leave a link to his stuff in the description as well. Does a lot of like market updates and news kind of videos and some gameplays from when we play at his local shop. So it's really cool. But yeah, no, this is you had made a hell of a like entrance for your like first competitive win or constructed win,
Yeah.
man. This is this is wild.
Yeah, and you love to see like an air card, an earth card, and a fire card when you have Philosopher's Stone. Everything's just lining up so perfectly.
Yes.
So I just drew Highland Princess off of my Apprentice Wizard.
And then so you spent Oh, I guess you used your air discount already. So there you
Yep.
play 1 for common sense. You ping and draw.
Yep.
Oh my, dude, guys, what's disgusting.
Yeah.
Do you go get another stone? I assume.
Right now I'm common sensing for something
Oh, that's right.
for the
Oh,
Land Surveyor.
yeah. And then I played against another Steam. Was it Steam Druid? Another Druid who was playing this Adept Illusionist minion, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's like very slow and kind of like just doing stuff to do stuff, but it's always you always have a minion on board, and it's kind of annoying to get rid of both of them. And specifically, Adept Illusions can summon things nearby. In the game I was playing, I had some defensive sites like Perilous Bridge up, and my opponent kept summoning Adept Illusionist behind the Perilous Bridge. I'm not sure if that's like what he wanted to do or like, but specifically for anybody watching, Adept Illusionist is nearby, so it can like really summon minions in weird spots.
It can only summon like the other copy of itself, right? Is that what
Yep.
you're talking about? It can summon
Yep.
itself nearby? Okay. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, my plan was like at some point one of them will be in the yard and I can just cast it with Deathspeaker and exile it. So
Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
that's
it's
really good too.
not great against Deathspeaker.
And then there's the princess to go get another stone, I guess.
Yep, and I ping my Land Surveyor, draw a site.
It feels good to pay 2 mana and draw 2 cards, huh?
Yeah, and then I get core, cast it, ping Highland Princess, go get the other core.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you win off the back of Craterize, I assume?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I cast Craterize on like turn 5 or 6. It's like pretty nuts.
Another core pop princess to go get another thing, and then you can cast princess and land surveyors again to get more. Oh my!
He's just like losing it. He's like, come on.
Yeah. No, Brandon's great to play against. I've played against him a few times and gone down to Cincinnati a couple times. Speaking of which, there will be I forget an Explorer series in Cincinnati to as well. So the next ones are coming up are Columbus, and I forget what's after Columbus, but I think it's maybe a Cincinnati event. But I will have more links for that in the description of this video. Looks like he gets Tawny. He also has a ring, so that's like kind of good for him, I guess. But it doesn't beat this ring Geistwood nonsense. My goodness.
Yeah. He packs with the devil.
And Pact with the
Decides
Devil,
Tawny.
yeah. He's not applying any pressure though. It's just like kind of where you want to be with Deathspeakers.
Yeah.
You have to go in against Deathspeaker and even Archimago to a lesser extent. Back when Deathspeaker was king and like the control deck of choice, the way you won was play a minion on 2, play a minion on 3, play a minion on 4. And they usually remove 1 or 2 of those minions, but they eventually run out of removal spells or controlling spells, and so you can kind of build up the tempo and kill them before they Nimid and combo. But if you let them twiddle their thumbs and get how many stones and cores out, it's kind of a foregone conclusion at this point.
Yeah. So I kind of messed up last turn. I didn't cast my core thinking that maybe I would just save it to ping something. I think I like did the math and didn't think I'd be able to cast Craterize next turn anyway. And then I realized this turn, like, oh, I should have just played my core because I have 7 mana this turn. I could have actually just cast Craterize, and I drew my other Craterize.
Oh,
So,
there you go. That's all you need.
but yeah, that'll be my next 2 turns is just Craterize you twice.
Get you to door and then kill you with ring.
Yeah.
I guess if he could also flip for Bruin and like eat a Craterize if he's scared of Craterize.
Yeah, he might actually do that. I'm not sure.
It looks like he played a site. Get the Tawny. Pact with the Devil in Druid just feels really strong, but also compared to what you're doing over there for like, it's just so much mana. 4 mana for all these like 1 mana, 2 mana draw 2s is you just get outvalued. Like the point of the deck, I guess. It's just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people forgot how to play against Deathspeaker. Honestly, I think once Archimago became king, people just stopped playing against Deathspeaker, and it's kind of like people are not forgotten about it, but the way you win against Deathspeaker is early pressure, and effective like fire ping removal spells. Like deserts are really good to remove a lot of chump blockers against Deathspeaker. I think this
Yeah.
this event was very. I think I asked in the Sorcerers at the Core Discord of like what you were bringing. I forget what you said, but you like hinted at Deathspeaker, and I was like, I think Deathspeaker's lined up pretty good for this kind of like field of like Druid being popular, which is like the mid range grind avatar, and Deathspeaker's better at that. There's Fury Road's not really popular or like highly aggressive things. I mean, Brandon played a air fire sorcerer list and put you to door. I think that's what preys on Deathspeaker, but no, you made a very good meta call to play Deathspeaker at this event.
Okay, yeah, it was luck. I didn't. I'm
No,
so not in touch with constructed at all. Like, I did not think about the meta or anything. I just
no,
played the deck that I like playing. So
no, you made a very good decision.
right, yeah, okay,
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think Deathspeaker is really good without Magoo around. With Magoo, it's just so much removal that you kind of have to play this like Druid sticky minion list and kind of like use the Druid's value of Tawny and Brew and all these other like minions to keep pressure up on Magoo, but Deathspeaker is really really good against Druid because Druid is just a little bit slower than like an aggro deck, and that's what Deathspeaker needs.
So I draw a site for turn, and then I attack Bruin with Violent, and then I
play it.
recast Violent to kill it because I have Summoning Sphere there, and then I have just enough mana to cast Crater Eyes.
And take him to door.
So
Do
that
double
puts me-
craterizes. Yeah.
Yeah, put him at door.
Yeah. So I guess that was an onboard like Bruin removal. I guess
Yeah.
Brandon should have put up a blocker, and here you're walking forward to ping him with the ring. I assume next turn.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a hell of a game, man. Geistwood centered with ring and other nonsense. Just that's wild.
Yeah, this is not the closest finals I've seen.
Wow.
But yeah, it was really fun to play.
Good game. Good job. Congrats on the win. Like well deserved.
Yeah, thank you. Cool.
All right, man. Well, let's go draft some cube, I guess, right?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, and then I wanted to do some stats. I haven't done deck stats in a long while, but just looking at the avatars, Druid, it was a third of the field at 10 of about 30, maybe, I think 29 or 28 players. Sorcerer was popular, and Battle Mage had 3 Battle Mages and 2 Avatar of Heirs. Should also say Archimago was banned in this event, and I think this is a good representation of what the current avatar breakdown of popular avatars are. Druid is up here because it's a pure value house. Sorcerer is just double draw. It gatekeeps a lot of decks, and then you get these like 5 to 8 onesie twosies of decks that can still be very good. Enchantress is hard to play, which its ability is cool, but you just lose on like card advantage through Sorcerer and Druid's like endless minions. Deathspeaker here ended up winning the event. Death Speakers are very good at that, like just chump block everything kind of game plan. And Flamecallers can have a lot of explosive turns, but sometimes Flamecallers just run out of gas. All right, and the most popular artifacts here, Ring of Morgan up here at no surprise, 86% of decks. I'm guessing that's probably because a lot of people who didn't play it just don't have a Ring of Morgan, which is totally understandable. Tor's Hammer Trinket, you can see the average played here is 3 of them. Especially with Ring of Morgan, it's huge. Especially with popular of Tawny, putting a Trinket on Tawny is amazing. Trinket and Ring of Morgan go together hand in hand for sure. 13 people played a Philosopher's Stone. Philosopher's Stones are good in a lot of decks, especially in Sorcerer 2-color decks where you get to double spell a turn earlier. And then the cores and Angel's Eggs are all good artifacts. And then Rolling Boulder here can be absolute blowout turns. If you get a minion on their side of the board and you push the boulder back towards you, so you always have control of boulder, and maybe you get deal 4, and kill something. It is very, very strong. Alright, and then the popular auras here. Ancient Fate is a huge card, and Jihad is another huge aura. Both of these play in the Steam Druid. That was half of the top 8. 4 out of the decks were top 8, were Steam Druid of some sort. The Great Famine and Black Plague here. I want these numbers to go up, but these are both huge removal spells on 4 mana board control. The famines and 4 mana removals are really, really strong. The Summoning Spheres were here for the Nimbus Djinn combo Deathspeaker decks. Alright, the most popular magics here. Earthquake being at the very top. Earthquake is a huge card. It has even more utility now with the tri-sites being moved. Even if it's a water tri-site, if you move it to their second row and then bury, because Earthquake says move, then bury, it turns off the water threshold, so it's no longer a water site, and you can bury things on tri-sites. So be careful with your castles. Grapple Shot is one of the best ordinary cards in the world. Blaze and Infiltrate are great fire cards, and Blinks are just really good cantrips, and you can kind of do some surprise plays, like blink up diagonally, attack, or move diagonally and get something that was quote-unquote safe. Should also mention Pact with the Devil here. Pact with the Devil in Steam Druid makes a lot of sense. Tawny's basically free, and turning 1 card into 3 is really strong. And Tawny is a cost, but is not as big of a cost like sacrificing your minion or half your life. Pact with the Devil is very, very strong. And the most popular minions here, Violent being up here at the top. Steam Druid is the most popular deck right now, so they're going to be playing the best fire minions, and Violent is one of them. Violent has gone up in value for me over Kobolds, because Kobolds essentially does the same thing, but Kobolds is an extra mana, and 1 extra mana does mean some difference in the 2 card evaluations. Tawny plus Trinket, Tawny plus Desert. I would rather spend 2 mana for that effect than 3. That's the only difference there. Boudica and Morgana Le Fay are huge uniques from Arthurian Legends. Lugbug Cat, again, Steam Druid, kind of warping the meta here. But Cat off of Pond on 2 is nuts. Ruler Thule is, again, in the Steam Druid. Red Cat Poweries, just more aggressive fire. Monstrous Lion, aggressive fire. Questing Beast, huge water minion. Warhorse, aggressive fire. I think the key takeaway here is fire aggro is the backbone to a lot of decks. If that's Airfire, Sorcerer, if that's Steam Druid, it's playing all the aggressive fire minions from Arthurian Legends just because they are so efficient. And we get down here to Highland Princess. Highland Princess is go gets a Trinket, go gets a Core, go gets Ring. Again, Princess is really, really strong. Alright, and the most popular sites here, Valley of Delight makes a lot of sense. It should be played in every single deck. There's almost no reason not to play Valley. Hitting Threshold is so very important. Mirror Realm is one of those super flexible cards. If you need another Earth and you copy one of their Earths, or you copy their Quagmire or Babbling Brook, or you get some effect that you really need at the time, Mirror Realm is really, really strong at that. River of Flame, again, Steam Druid is kind of warping the meta here, more popular cards. Color Out of Space, again, color fixing. I should also say about Steam Druid. Steam Druid is a very threshold hungry and greedy deck. There's lots of triple fire, triple water. It can be a little tricky to hit your thresholds, but but with Tawny and Bruin and Steam Druid's active pressure, it feels okay to get to 6 and 7 mana, and you can do that pretty easily. And interesting here, towers have been knocked off the top here. Towers used to be 60-70% of decks. Everybody played at least a cycle of each tower, even as a utility land to ramp a little bit is very strong, but knocked off a little bit. That's interesting to see. Again, Fields of Camlin, Steam Druid. Fields is a board wipe on a stick, or a board wipe on a land, so cost of include is very, very low. Even if you just play it out on 1, you got your Fire Threshold, cool. If you draw it late on turn 5, oh sweet, you have a board wipe. Like, Fields is very strong. Floodplain, Steam Druid. Floodplains are super useful in defending against spiders and other burrowed minions. Floodplain is really strong. And then, again, Pond with the cat and other beasts to discount them. Pond is huge. Pond is really, really, really good. All right, and then top 8 lists here. I was number I was number 9 on Breakers, so a little rough there, but all good. This deck is by Enphase Games. Jihad, Atlantean Fate. Again, there's 4 Steam Druids, so we'll go through these Steam Druids a little bit. The only thing I don't like in the Steam Druid list a lot is Manuscript. I understand it's good with Plague of Frogs and some other things in Tawny, but it's 2 mana, draw a card. I would just rather draw a card I want or need or what have you. Adept Illusionist is an interesting one here. I found this one kind of slow for me, but always having a minion to do something with makes a lot of sense. Infernal Legion is a big 6 mana, can you remove it kind of question, and Courtesan Thias is great for, if Magoo was unbanned in this event, it would be good for that, but it's also really good into Deathspeaker, which actually won the event. So here's number 7. This is Dalton. He's a local guy. Drums of Doom on Druid flipped is really frustrating. You kind of have to have Dispel or Disenchant. And this is much more of an aggressive slant. You can see this is Zalem's Druid playing a lot of charged minions of Poweries, Warhorse, and Cavalry. Also, Coercion Kobolds here. Again, it's the same effect as Violent, but it's an extra mana. It gets removed the same way Violent gets removed. Again, just 1 extra mana. So I can see like trimming a couple Kobolds and putting in something else that you might need. Also down here, Peasants Revolt is really frustrating. Peasants Revolt, they have a lot of exceptionals over here, and there's 1 unique site, and Rift Valley is an elite. Like, there's very few hits on your side of the board when playing Peasants Revolt, but it's a it's a bit of a blowout sometimes. Yeah, good job on top 7. Number 6 is Brandon Posey, another local guy here. We worked on this list. This was kind of similar to my Big Red Clifford deck. Playing a lot of the aggressive red minions, but playing a little bit bigger. The way I play this sorcerer list is not to get to 4 mana and start double drawing immediately. I personally like to get to 5 and then start double drawing. And if I happen to draw Infernal Legion, I can draw a site and play it next turn. Also, the power of this deck is double spelling. So if you find yourself, you have a handful of 4, 5, 6 cards, like that's probably a cue. You can play 2 sites in a row and just dump your hand. You need to keep playing spells. 1 spell a turn isn't enough. So if you start, like, your hand gets full of spells, take some time, draw some sites, and play them out, and you can start playing your bigger stuff double spelling. It's like that. It's always a question with Sorcerer, when do you draw sites, and it's a hard question to answer. But here you can see it's playing Great Famine, a great removal spell, also buys you time. Another thing over here is Perilous Bridge. Perilous Bridge on 2, if you don't have a super aggressive curve, can like buy you a turn or 2, and that's usually all you need to like not fall behind. Courtesan Thias again for like disrupting the combo decks. Infernal Legion is the removal check. Dapper Vampire is another removal check. If you can't remove this, I'm going to use Grapple Shot and blow out, deal 8, gain 8, kill something. It's going to be a problem turn for you. Highland Princess to go get the ring. I like Philosopher's Stone in this kind of list more. There is some air, not enough, it's not evenly split, but enough air to get to double spell really well. One thing Brandon added that I didn't have was Rolling Boulder. I think I played Infiltrate over my... He also has an Infiltrate. But I didn't play Rolling Boulder in mine. Maybe this would be a good thing just because you have a lot of aggressive minions and things to get on their side of the board and push it back. And again, like I said before, you can really have that blowout turn. Tor's Hammer's Trinket is great in any deck, especially any deck that's playing the ring. It doesn't have to be just tawny, but Horus Hammer's Trinket is really, really strong. I like 2 of them in here. You don't really want to draw 3 of these things. You still need minions to play to the board. Druid gets a way of playing 3 of these because they will always usually have tawny. And also, this deck is really good into Steam Druid, I kind of feel like, because it's playing like Dragonettes and Violence and Deserts to ping tawny and remove that kind of value. If you have to have low cost of include to remove tawny. You don't want to spend a berry or really expensive stuff to deal with the Druid's value. You'll just drown in the extra minions and things that the Druid gets to play. So you want to accidentally remove tawny with Deserts and Dragonettes and Kobolds and just other little pingy things. But yeah, good job on 6th place, Brandon. James, the one and only James, the guy who put on this whole event, so thank you very much. Again, Steam Druid. Steam Druid's very good. Sir Mordred is a cool twist here. You get to 6 really easily with this deck. A lot of decks didn't play Mesmerism. I've never had any issues like casting Mesmerism on like turn 6 or 7. I'm not really playing this on curve. This is more of a like late game. They have their last minion. You need to remove it, and it's just a complete blowout. I think Mesmerism is really cool, but the threshold is a little sketch. Lugbog Cat for the pawns. Sir Agravain is also a sneaky one that it's just so frustrating to deal with. Sir Agravain with Tawny strikes things for 4. Very good. And I should say I lost to Boudica twice. I went 4-2 at the event. But both of my losses were to Boudica, and one of them was game 1 against the 2nd place guy here. I got hit for 17. It's just like, yeah. Boudica is like win out of nowhere. It's very important to remove all your opponent's minions, so Boudica can't do anything. And only playing a couple artifacts down here, I totally get it. Playing more minions is more better in my mind. Lantean Fate and Great Famine, both really good auras and removal. Yeah, really good Steam Druid list. Congrats on 5th place. 4th place, we had a surprise visit by the one and only Count Tolstoy, Alexis. We saw this, I think, round 3 in the video. Atlantean Fate is a huge... if you're in any kind of water, just play Atlantean Fate. Screaming Skull on Battle Mage is really strong. A couple of cores and other artifacts to ramp. Browse to go digging. Browse is a high threshold cost in Battle Mage lists. I think they only usually get to 4, maybe 5. But Highland Princess to go get stuff. Sir Tom Thumb. Apparently this is a bit of a fairies theme. Very Nice to Meet You by Tolstoy. Ribble Bogart is a 3-mana 3/3. That's what water needs. It's just solid minions with some upside. Serpelius is Defend from Anywhere. Hippogriffs off a pond works really well. An aggressive 3/3 is always good. Fairy Queen is a flyer. Also, if your opponents are playing mid-range Earth, which is kind of gone away right now, Fairy Queen is very good, especially with all these fairies you got in here. Blue Knights, these 3/2 Knights with Lances, I think are underplayed just because there's Violence and Deserts and Tawnies, so you have to play them more defensively and be careful where you play them, but they're very strong, especially with like Grapple Shot or some other movement spells. Feast for Crows can be like remove any kind of combo list potential. Magic Missiles for finishing and Shrinks are great with Battle Mage for sure. Alright, and 3rd place here, Andrew. Uvala, I think is his name on Discord, playing Deathspeaker. I think Deathspeaker is playable when Archimago is banned at events. The Black Plague and Great Famine are great removals, great board control. You can play behind them. They're very frustrating for your opponents to deal with. They kind of don't want to spend a disenchant on it or some kind of removal thing on it because eventually it's going to go away. So I really like the Famine and Black Plague. Playing four waters to ramp out a Titan or a Death Dealer seems cool. Grandmaster Wizard and Land Surveyor for just general card advantage. I think you can get away with playing these ramp spells in Deathspeaker because you have so many cantrips and little things to draw cards and burn through your deck. Morgana Le Fay is really good in Deathspeaker because even if she dies, you can recast her, refill your yard. If your opponent is playing Morgana, you can cast it from their yard to refill your yard. Morgana and Deathspeaker is really, really good. Some general removal spells down here with Poison Nova, Earthquake, and a Common Sense to go get what you need. Where I think Archimago just beats Deathspeaker, say you get pressured early through some aggressive minions, and you hit a tower into Poison Nova on 4. That's great, right? You wipe the board, reset, remove all that pressure. But what happens if your opponent is Sorcerer and he double draws and plays 2 more minions? And then you're just under that same kind of like pressure again. Where Archimago gets to cast Poison Nova again, Deathspeaker either has to have 2 removal spells in hand or top deck it. It's just like asking a lot more of Deathspeaker for mass removal, where Archimago gets to play this twice for free. And then really good sites here. Pebble Paths is a great one going against the Poweries. Like, Poweries are just dead into Pebble Paths if there's some shenanigans, but Pebble Paths are really good. Not playing a lot of defensive sites. I would expect to see like Gnome Hollows or something, but Perilous Bridge is really good. Quagmire is great, like board control. Valley for color fixing. Vesuvius can be sneaky. Really good list. Deathspeaker is still very strong. Archimago is just better, in my opinion. All right, and then second place here, JJ, another local guy. We had 3 of our 4 locals get up there, and I was 9th on Breakers. So, good job, Columbus crew. Good job, JJ, on second place. I think your only loss was to the guy who won. So, very good here. Again, Steam Druid. Steam Druid is really, really good. This is playing a little bit bigger stuff. I mean, look at all these freaking threshold costs. A lot of double fire, triple water. He cut Mesmerism just to tune it back a little bit, but still crazy threshold. Swiven Scout, for information, is interesting. Violence of Warhorse is good 2 drops. Colicky Dragonettes deal with other Steam Druids, Tawnies, really effectively. Lugbog Cats off of pawns. Morgana Le Fay for card advantage. Poweries for just pure pressure. Sir Agravain with Tawny is really annoying. Boudica can win out of nowhere. Brother Knight. I'm not a huge fan of Brother Knight, but Brother Knight is 4 mana, 6 power across 2 bodies. They have to have an answer for it, or else they're just going to get run over. Monstrous Lion is 4 mana, remove a thing, really strong. Ruler Thule can set up for huge turns, especially with Cat and stuff. Play to your back row, swing for a crazy amount. Sergei Harris is an interesting one. I'm not a huge fan of this card just because it's not active pressure, but it is 5 toughness and it removes 5/5s. It's a good 4 mana minion. A Phoenix is great into all this other Steam Druid. Phoenixes don't take damage from other fire minions, so Phoenixes are really hard to remove for other fire lists. Horus and Thias are great into any combo or any like big mana deck. Also, it's just a kill spell on top. It can, bare minimum is a kill spell. You play Thias and you walk them into your minions or you attack them or something. Questing Beast is a very sticky minion. Minions need to stick around for a turn, and Stealth really helps you do that along with Water. You can also help position it for a Shatter Strike or some kind of like blowout turn. And Infernal Legion is another just can you remove this card? If not, I'm going to kill you with it. Great minions there. Plague of Frogs is great chump blocks. He's also playing manuscripts, so there is the manuscript frog stuff. Tor's Hammer Trinket with Tawny and Rigor Morgan kind of go without saying. The sneaky one here is Geyser. I think Geyser is underplayed. If your opponents are trying to play Earth mid-range, Geyser just blanks a spider. Also, giving things airborne can attack other airborne minions. Geysers are really, really strong. Blaze on Tawny, Blaze Bruin or something is also a kill spell. Also, movement is really good. I think one of Blaze is really good here. 2 Disintegrates, just hard removal, especially off of Tawny. You don't have to move your minion or your avatar. You can use Tawny to get nearby something and disintegrate it. Minor Explosion is a kill spell and can do some 2-for-1s, especially if you're going against a lot of other druids. You can get Tawny and something else a lot of the time. Also, if they flip into Bruin, you can take a step up and make Minor Explosion in their sight, and it will kill Bruin. So it's a good way to kill Bruin. Infiltrate is really good. I like the 1 of. 2 seems a little heavy in my mind, but 1 is really good. Again, packed with Tawny is really strong. Shatter Strike with any of these crazy minions is really good. And then Snowball is an interesting kill spell. It moves things. I like 1 of here. Snowball is really good. And then just solid minion sites to color fix. The one downside to this kind of list is your threshold costs. So you got to be careful with the double water and Infernal Legion. So you kind of want to mulligan for like Floodplains or Joyous Gunards or some way of getting fire and water early. Can be the only challenge to this kind of list. But great job on second place. And our winner here, Frogmagio with Deathspeaker. You saw it in the gameplay part of this gameplay video, but his deck ran hot. he got some lucky draws. Was a very good game here. Again, talked about Deathspeaker earlier. He's playing Boudica, so a lot of your little shitty 2-mana land surveyors or princesses, if any of these stick around, if you have 2 of them that stick around, you play Boudica and attack for 6 extra damage out of nowhere, can turn your Nimbus Djinn into a much earlier threat. 3 Divine Healings for sustain, Angel's Egg for sustain. A lot of times Angel's Eggs, if you are able to remove their opponent's minions as they play them, Angel's Egg can just kind of like be too much to beat through sometimes. I've definitely lost the Angel's Egg a couple times just because I was trying to do like 5 damage a turn or 3 damage a turn, and Angel's Eggs really makes that 2 damage a turn, and it's just not enough to have a pressure. Philosopher's Stone is great in any 3-color deck. Cores are good in this kind of like cantrippy Wayfaring Pilgrim list. Wayfaring Pilgrim is a 2-mana draw card. You play off to your side, what you already want to do as Deathspeaker. You don't want to like put your sights too far up. Wayfaring Pilgrim is very strong. And Titan and Death Dealer are great Genesis effects. Really cool list here. Nice job on first place and nice job on taking it down.